Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? This is Martha Ermias coming to you live from Orange County, California. I almost said Columbus, Ohio. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna wait a little bit until some people chime in. Hi Mulgeta, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. How are you doing today? Hi Ruti, nice to see you here. How's everybody doing? Please let me know how your day is going. Today is Monday, the third week, almost the fourth week, the third week of January. Good morning, Ruti. Nice to see you guys here. Hi Eden. How's everybody doing? I'm coming to you guys live. I'm coming to you live from Orange County, California. I just finished attending a 3-day workshop by Danny Johnson. It was really, really awesome. Oh, I miss you too, Ruti. I miss everyone back home and my team and everything. But today I have something really, really exciting to share with you guys. I was in San Diego the last 3 days attending Danny Johnson conference, learning a lot, taking a lot of notes, and just soaking in the information. And I'm just so blessed to have been there. Hi, Eden, nice to see you. And it was just a lot of information. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys know Danny Johnson, but she's just an expert coach in the areas of finances and relationships as well as career. She's basically a success coach, and the way she delivers and the way she teaches is just amazing. And it's been an amazing 3 days. I've got so many things that I've learned. This is actually my third event of Danny Johnson's that I'm attending, and just in the last 1 year, that is. And I am so excited and just ready to go back home and implement everything that I've learned. But today I wanted to share with you guys pretty much some of the things that I learned from Danny Johnson's, but I'm not going to go too much into detail. But something that was really, really important that she shared, I wanted to share with you guys. So basically, it's today's topic is going to be playing to win in 2018. Okay. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi, Coach. How are you? Nice to see you guys here. Guys, by the way, I'm doing a 30-day Facebook Live challenge, and today is actually my fourth week. I'm starting my fourth week, so this is going to be my last week. Well, actually, next week, Wednesday, is when I finish the 30-day challenge, and I don't know if I'll continue after that. Most likely I will, but we'll see. So if you guys are finding value in what I say, and if you know that someone will have some valuable things that they can gain out of today's message, please go ahead and share it. I really do appreciate you guys sharing it. And I'll go straight to the topic. So playing to win. Okay, so all of us, all the time, everywhere, we are playing a game. And that is the game of life. We're playing a game of life. Whether you're consciously doing it or you're not consciously doing it, you're always playing the game of life. And what does the game of life include? It includes relationships. It includes your health. It includes your career. It includes your finances. And it also includes your spirituality. Those are the 5 areas of life that can really affect your happiness, your fulfillment, and any problem that you may have in life is associated to one of those areas. So basically, in those areas, you're always playing a game. You are responsible to the outcome of the results of those areas in your life. If you're not happy in one or more parts of those areas, you're pretty much responsible for it, because every little choices that you make and every decision that you make really affects all areas of your life. Okay, so whether you know it or not, you're actually playing a game. You're playing a game of life. So that's what we call the game of life, and that's it's the way Danny Johnson put it was really amazing, and that's why I really wanted to share it with you. Whether we like it or not, we're playing a game of life, and there's this thing, there's the statistics that says that 2% of the population, and this is the United States statistics, I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but in the US, 2% are winning in the game of life. 2% are winning. The remaining 98% are struggling in the way of life, in the game of life. So basically, they're not really winning. They're not getting everything they wanted. They're not seeing the results that they wanted. They're not thriving in those 5 areas. And then some people, they're not even aware that they're playing it. Some people are playing to lose. Some people are playing to win. And some people don't even know that they're in a game. So by default, they're losing, okay? So think about a basketball game. If you decide, if you are coach trained and you come to play to win, you are definitely going to win. If you really didn't do the due diligence of training the team and you really didn't prepare for it, you're definitely going to lose. But if you come unprepared and you're actually in the basketball field getting ready for a soccer game, you don't even know that you are, hi Marta, nice to see you. You don't even know that you're in a game, then you're going to lose by default, right? So just like that in life, whether you're consciously playing or not consciously playing, you're either winning or you're losing. So the whole point of this, what I wanted to talk about today, is how do you really win? How do you really play the game of life to win? What are some of the things that can help you actually become a winner in the game of life? First of all, is really be aware that you are responsible. There's a game going on, and you have to be prepared and consciously engage so that you can get the kind of results that you want in your life. And again, the areas of the life that we talked about is your relationships. If you're not winning in relationships, if you have broken relationships, if you're not happy with the relationships that you have within your household, within your family, within your extended family, or even within your coworkers or businesses and things like that, if relationships is not an area where you're thriving, then that's a game of life where you're not winning. Or in your finances, if your finances are not in order, if you're not allowing your assets to grow, if that's not what's happening, if you're getting more and more in debt, that's an area where you're really not thriving, or you're not really playing the game of life to win. Or if it's in your career, if you're not promoting in your career, whatever your career may be, if you're not advancing or becoming a ruler over more, then you're probably not winning in the area of life. Your health, if your health is not full, if you don't have the energy that you need to live life, or you don't feel energetic or strong, then maybe you're not winning in the area of life. And then the other thing is also your spiritual life also, because as human beings, we're not just physical bodies, we also have a spirit. And how is your spiritual life? And how's your mental, emotional health? All of that. If you're not thriving, then maybe you're not playing to win in those areas, okay? But the 2% people, number one, they know that they're in the game of life. Hi, Liti. Nice to see you here. So number one is that they know that they're in the game of life. Number two, they know the rules of the game. They know the rules of the game. They know what rules to follow to win and what rules can produce unwanted results. So they avoid the things that produce unwanted results, and they actually follow the rules that produce the results that they want. Okay, they're aware that in the game of life, and they know the rules, how to play by, and then they make conscious choices and decisions, and they act on it every single day, and that's why they're the 2%. Whereas the rest of the population, they probably don't know what the rules of the game are. They have not invested the time to understand it, or they don't have, and then that's the part of the stuff that we're going to talk about. They don't know who their opponent is. They don't know who they're playing against to win the game of life, and that's why they're the 98%ers who are unsatisfied in life. Okay, there's 2%ers that are really, really satisfied, 98% that are not satisfied. So So who are the opponents? If you're when you're playing in the game of life, and you're always playing it, whether you know it or not, who's your opponent? Who are you playing against? Okay. There's so many things that we can talk about, but I'm going to talk about 7 things that I think can help us start identifying those opponents. But we got to take it further and understand what rules we need to play. First, we need to understand who our opponent is, but at the same time, what rules do we need to play to win? Okay, that's not something I'm going to talk about today, but who our opponents are, we really need to talk about. Okay, so the number one opponent that we have is excuses. Okay, this is something I've been wanting to talk about because it's kind of like a huge revelation. A lot of times when we're living in life, as human beings, and including myself, it's very easy for us to come up with a reason why something is not working. Very easy for us. Why relationships are not working. Why, thank you so much, McConan. Nice to see you here. Why a relationship is not working, why our finances is not working, why our work life is not working, why we're not as healthy as we want. We always have a reason behind it, right? And that reason, we think it's fact. It may be true, but using it, like when you start to confess that fact over and over again, not to move forward or not to do what you're supposed to do, it actually becomes an excuse. It's actually an excuse. That's actually the number one thing that really holds us back from getting what we want, is an excuse. It's the excuse that we tell ourselves. What are some of the excuses? A, I don't have time. B, I don't have the money. C, I'm not that kind of person. I don't have the skills that is needed. The kind of people that are around me are not the right people. I cannot get this done or I'm not in the right city or town. Excuses are really limitless, okay? I can't do this because this is blocking me. That's an excuse. And Danny Johnson actually calls it, an excuse is a well-planned out lie. It's actually not a truth, because one thing we have to understand, guys, is the 2%ers live in a no excuse zone. They don't take excuses. And this is something that it's a practice. It's a habit. Having excuses and the way we think like that, it's actually a habit. Okay? So one of the things that one of our opponents is really excuses, and teaching ourselves or learning not to have excuses really is going to take some effort. But once we start to do it, we start to jump from the 98% to the 2%, the way the 2% think, to win in the game of life. Okay, so excuses is number one. Number two is comfort zone. Okay, we all like to be comfortable. We all like what's familiar. As human beings, we don't like change because we don't like risk. We're afraid that something might not work. We don't like to be hurt. Something might not work. So we protect ourselves by just staying comfortable in what's familiar. And that's actually another opponent that we have that's keeping us stuck, not to win in the game of life. So the second thing is really comfort zone. And I'll tell you a little story here. When I started my business 3 years ago, I always talk about that. And when I started 3 years ago, I didn't even know this, okay? A lot of times the stuff that really holds us back, we don't know it, But when you're in the game, they start to be, unveiled because you're working and somebody's really bringing it to your attention. So one of my mentors, I keep telling him, he would challenge me to do something that I've never done before, okay? What's uncomfortable is what we haven't never done before. He would challenge me to do it, and I would say, yeah, but I'm not comfortable doing that yet. That's what I used to say. Like, that came from my mouth a lot of times. And I remember what he did. He was reading a book, and he took a picture of a title. Like, inside the book, one of the pages, there was a title and a little paragraph. So the title said that you're not growing unless you're uncomfortable, then you're not growing. So And then he took a picture of it and sent it to me. I guess it reminded him of me as he was reading it. And he sent me that picture. And I said, wow, I'm blocking my own growth because I don't like to be uncomfortable. Okay? The 2%ers, they put themselves in a position where they are not comfortable all the time. Okay? So we have to step outside of our comfort zone. If you and this is the reality, guys. If you want something that you've never had before, if you want to achieve something that you've never had before, you have to be willing to do something you've never done before. You can't be doing the same thing and expect different results. So in order for you to do that, though, you have to embrace being uncomfortable. And it doesn't have to be like you got to be uncomfortable in 10 different areas all at the same time. As long as you can push yourself to be uncomfortable in one area every single day, you're always going to be growing, and you're always going to be learning, and that's going to be a comfort zone again. You have to stretch yourself a little bit up. So another opponent is being comfortable in the game of life. That's keeping us from winning. The third point is the need to be right. The need to be right. The desire to be right. Okay, and this goes with what I know is the right way. I know everything. I know how to handle this. A lot of it is like being very unteachable and uncoachable. Okay, and that's another opponent that we have that's making us lose in the game of life. Everybody, we may know a lot, but we also need to learn more, because there's always somebody that's more successful than who we are, where we are, that we can learn from, that we can draw knowledge from or wisdom from. Okay, there's always somebody ahead of us that has arrived where we're trying to go, regardless of what area we're talking about. I mean, if it's in relationships or marriages or how to raise children, there are people who've successfully done it, and we can draw from their knowledge and grow. If it's finances, the same thing. If it's about investment and things like that, the same thing. If it is our career, the same thing. If it is our health, it's the same thing. We need to learn from others. How are they achieving it? Spiritual growth, the same thing. There's somebody that's ahead of us that we can learn from. And the desire to be right keeps us or holds us back from growing, because it makes us, I want to say this, but it's really being arrogant and egoistic that blocks us from learning. So we need to humble ourselves. And we don't have to be right all the time. Really, we really don't. It really doesn't matter. Everybody can be right and us can be wrong. And that's really, there's nothing that comes out of us being right. Okay? So that's the third opponent that we have, that we're playing against in order for us to win in the game of life. And the fourth is not following instructions. And again, this goes hand in hand with not being teachable. A lot of times we want to reinvent the wheel all the time. Hi, Miki, nice to see you here. We always want to reinvent the wheel all the time. I mean, it's fine, we can do that, but it's going to take longer to get to where we want. A lot of times, people who have succeeded in a specific area, they're always sharing information. They're always trying to help us where we haven't arrived. And we have to be willing to just follow instructions and do exactly what they say and see if it works. If you really want to be successful quickly in any area, and when I say successful, I'm not just talking about financially or business or just any area where it's a priority for you. It could be relationships, it could be health, it could be spirituality, it could be finances, it could be career. Whatever area is your priority, if you want to be successful, just learn from another successful person and follow their instructions and see if it works. So not following instruction is another opponent that's keeping us from winning in the game of life. And so number 5 is not taking immediate action. Procrastination, being afraid, being doubtful. A lot of times we don't take immediate action because we want to think about it. And I'm guilty of this because I'm a thinker, okay? The more you think about it, the more you're wasting time where you could have won, okay? Taking immediate action is also very important. And that goes hand in hand with being uncomfortable. You have to take action even though you're not comfortable with it. And that's when you start to grow. And and then, guys, this is something that really something that has been revealed to me. Fear is really nothing like what we're afraid of. If you start to dig in and think, it's not something that, we're afraid of what might happen, not the actual thing that could happen. It's probably not going to happen. But in our minds, we create, what possibilities could come that could hurt us, and we start to become afraid. So we create the problem and we're afraid of it. But if you just try it, if you just push and just act on it, a lot of times what we're fearful of actually really doesn't happen. So fear is a feeling that cripples us from moving forward and for taking action. We have to take action. We have to take a risk. Another opponent that we're playing against and winning in the game of life is also not being aware of your choices, your own choices. Because every single day we're making a choice. We're making a choice how that day is going to be like, what we are going to produce within that day, how we're going to be using our time, how we're going to be using our money, how we're going to be spending our money, whether we're going to be productive with it or not productive with it. And there was something that Danny Johnson shared that I really, really, really loved this time. She talked about the law of promotion. To be promoted in life, the secret is really in the little things that you do every single day, the choices that you make in the little things that every single day. That's really what's gonna either promote you or demote you. Okay, so if you're faithful with little things, then you're gonna be ruler over much, much more. That's how she put it. If you're faithful with the little things, that are unseen, when no one is seeing, are you faithful with your time? Are you diligent with what you're doing? When no one is seeing, then you are going to promote more. If you're making those choices when no one is seeing, like no one is looking, I don't know why I'm saying no one is seeing, no one is looking, you make the right choices and you promote in life. So the choices that we make, we have to be aware of them. And a lot of times we're not. We're like going through life very unconsciously, not really knowing that we're making little choices. The choice to make an extra phone call or not. The choice to say, oh, I'm tired, I should just, or do what I'm supposed to do. Like the choice to be accountable to the things that I decided to be accountable to. All those choices we're always making and in order for us to win in the game of life, we have to make the right choices. But first, we have to be aware of our choices. What choices am I making? And I want to say this again. There's actually a book that's really helped me be aware of my own choices and things like that, was The Compound Effect. I know I've said it before in other videos. I think everybody needs to read that book. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy will really help you understand the little choices that you're making every single day and how that affects your life. It's a very powerful book, so I really recommend that. And then the last opponent that we're fighting against in the game of life, to win in the game of life, is inconvenience. Okay, a lot of us, especially nowadays, with all the technology that exists and with all, especially I'm talking to the audience that are in the US or other first world countries. We are very conditioned to look for convenience. We like convenience. We like everything to be easy and convenience. And that's a trap. That's really a trap, because success is inconvenient. When you're pursuing something and trying to excel in it and be good at it or succeed in it or find results, it's actually not convenient. Hi, Adam, nice to see you here. It's really not convenient. But then on the other side, failure is not convenient either. Success is not convenient, but failure is not convenient. So which inconvenience do we want? I'd rather, if inconvenience is gonna be there anyways, I'd rather have the inconvenience of success. Because when you failed in areas, we're not winning when you're playing to lose. Just like the 98%ers, when you're playing to lose, then it's not going to be convenient, because you're not going to have the results you want in terms of relationships in your life, in terms of your finances, in terms of your career, in terms of your health. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to like the results. That's inconvenient, okay? But to become successful, you also have to go through inconvenient steps. It's not convenient to do things that you've never done before. It's not convenient to juggle your time, find little time here and there in order for, thank you so much, Peter, I appreciate you, to find time from your very busy schedule to invest in the future. It's not convenient to stay up late or wake up early in the morning. It's not convenient to do the things that you don't like to do. You know, successful people, one of the things that separates successful people from unsuccessful people is successful people always do the things they don't like to do. We don't always like to do the things that can bring us success. Okay, so success is not convenient, but failure is also not convenient. So you've got to choose which inconvenience you want and go after it. So this 7 things that I mentioned, you know, excuses, comfort zone, you know, the need to be right, not following instruction, not taking immediate action, not being aware of your choices and making the right choices, and avoiding inconvenience. All of these things that we talked about are our opponents in winning the game of life. Okay, so a lot of stuff that I've learned at Danny Johnson's conference this year has really challenged me. I've taken a lot of notes and I'm ready to implement a lot of things. And the goal, her theme was, are you going to win in the game of life in 2018? You know, are you going to play to win? You know, play to win. And I hope I hope this message has inspired you, and I hope that you decide for yourself if you're going to play to win in 2018. And a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, guys, as you can see it, it's not about your environment. It's not about situations in your life. It's not about other people. It's not about your job. It's about you. Everything starts with you and how you deal with things and what you decide. You know, our biggest enemy is ourselves. Our biggest enemy is how we live life already. And if we can win ourselves, then we can win everything around us. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you so much for following. And one thing I want to say is, like, if you really want to get more messages like this and be inspired and learn some things that I'm learning as I'm growing, if you really want to hang out with me, then I do have a private Facebook group with like-minded individuals where you can actually join, and I'd be more than happy to add you in there. You just have to let me know by saying add. And I also have 2 Facebook groups. One is in Tigrinya and one's in English. If you prefer to be added to the Tigrinya Facebook group, please include add Tigrinya and we'll add you there, okay? So far, those of you who have already requested to be added, we haven't added you yet, but we will. And we really do appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this video, and I really ask you to share it if you find it helpful, and I really thank you for doing that also. Have a great day, guys. Have a great Monday, and make it a good one, and God bless you. Bye-bye.